Hi, everybody. If you're 45 or older, talk to your schedule colonoscopy. And then when you know that, we got bud worms in Minnesota. I've never seen bud worms in Minnesota. Um, you hear about them a lot in other places. I've seen the white and these little blue moths around this summer. And I've seen them in the past. I just don't know why I haven't had to deal with them. This year, the golden goat that you guys have seen is pretty much, it's not infested. I couldn't say for sure, but I found like 5 different spots that had brown buds on them. Parts of the pistils or whatever you want to call them, um, petioles, are turning brown. The other parts of the bud are still green. And you'll just get one spot that turns brown or one spot that turns black, and you'll take that and you'll kind of open up, kind of flick at those hairs, and then they'll start coming off. And you look down in there and you'll see little black specks. That's damn caterpillar crap. I had my loop out there yesterday, and I opened one up and looked down in there, and you can see a little caterpillar or a little worm in there chomping away, chomping away, chomping away. You don't want to let these get out of control from what I've seen. There are sprays apparently you can spray on these things, but there's also natural ways of doing it. And what I'm going to do is I have a blue LED light. This is how I also catch night crawlers. Okay. Clip that on your hat. And then you go through the whole, every side of each branch up and down. Now, I've never used this, okay? So I'm just coming up with this. I don't know if anybody else does this or not. But under this blue light, the white or different colors will show up better. Even green on green will show up better, and it'll show up a different shade when you're using a colored light. And blue seems to be the best. So I'm going to be going through pretty much every branch. Right now, the ones that are showing the issue are the early budders, which brings up the blueberry there. The blueberry sprinkle is budding, is an early budder, and right now it's showing probably more sign than the golden goat was. So next year, I'm going to put out like a bounty on these white moths. I'm assuming what happened. I haven't seen the moths in several weeks probably. So when I was seeing them around the area and hearing about these worms in California that are caused by these moths and stuff, and I started looking for listening a little closer to episodes of other shows when they're talking about critters. You want to get on these things as soon as you can when you know that they're around. I had no idea these things were around, really. I mean, I thought maybe we had different kind of moths or whatever, because I had never seen them before, seen this stuff before. And when it's really early, they're really small and hard to see. So you need either you look for that sign of the brown, bud basically. And if it comes apart, there's one in there. Destroy that bud. I had a compost tea that I made up, and then I added Epsom salt. No idea what's going to work, whatever. Like I said, I'm going to go out there and hand assassinate these son of a bitches tonight. If I see an egg or something like that, that's what I'm assuming. You know, they came in a wave, and then they laid their eggs. The first couple of plants that are flowering right now, they're showing the signs of caterpillars or budworms. I have plants that aren't that far along yet. There's no sign on those plants that there's anything wrong. I'm not noticing anything turning brown. There's no buds on them. So I'm hoping those won't be affected, but I am going to go through them tonight because I can fully access my whole plant, every plant. So I'll be able to check every spot basically. From what I see, they start out microscopic. You got to have a loop to see them. You're going to see this brown stuff. There's going to be evidence, and you may not believe it. You know, maybe something happened to them. That's kind of what I was in. I was like, well, maybe I damaged it somehow. But then when I looked through my loop down into the little hole that he had made down in there, I'm assuming his egg was there and the bud formed around him. And then he hatched and then started eating it from the inside. And I saw those moths in my plants, you know. So there's a bounty on those moths. I don't know if some cultivars will be more affected or less affected. We're going to find out. The Purple Punch Lemon Drizzle has nugs on it, and there's, as far as I've seen so far, no sign on it. That's in the same patch. I have another location that has a Vegas Greasy Grape on it, and that one, as far as I've seen, is just in the early stage of flower and has no sign yet. The Golden Goat, it is the farthest along. It has actual nugs on it with frost. That one I've pulled off probably 5 chunks, mostly tops. I only needed to open up one of them to, you know, see what was going on, and I did. And then after that, I just removed the affected area, basically the whole bud, and then drowned it, squished it, and then drowned it. I don't want any of that flowery material to start rotting and produce spores and then, you know, infest other parts of the plants. Now, if you can't get to your plants fully, or you know you're worried about whatever, and you're spraying shit, I guess neem oil may help. Some people are saying that like soap, natural soap, and I don't remember what else they're using with that. I really hit mine hard with a compost tea that I made. That I added a tablespoon per gallon of Epsom salt to. I mentioned this early in this video. I don't know if it's going to help or not, but that magnesium sulfate has sulfur in it. And I didn't spray it on the buds of the Golden Goat. anything that still hadn't had any bud development. Some was in pre-flower. I'm not going to worry about that. But that stem is where I'm assuming the eggs are planted, and maybe we'll be able to see them under my blue light. But I'm assuming that's where those eggs are, and then as the flower develops around it, it's going to hatch. So I hit those areas heavily with that compost tea and Epsom salt, tablespoon per gallon. I'm probably going to do that again tomorrow. Um, we'll see what our inspection shows tonight. I will be filming it in night vision. So you'll be able to see me working on it for at least a little while. The night vision is in 4G, so it takes up a lot of space and a lot of time to upload. So, I'll do the big plant, and then I'll stop that video and do the rest of them. Yeah, other than that, we are well into it. Fun times. I don't know what else is going on. Yeah, no. Could not. We're just kind of in limbo here now. I want to wait till dark here, and it's still, I got about an hour before it's dark, I guess. I want to see what's going on out there. So, anyways, that's all I got. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you checking this out. Look out for them worms, man. Don't be on them. If you see any kind of sign that anything looks a little suspicious, don't be afraid to just, sacrifice that one bud and pull it open and see if there's anything in there. It may save you. If it's just that one, you're in luck. But then, you see that one, look in other spots. Be a little more on the ball. Get yourself a blue LED light. Well, I can't turn mine on right now, but one-handed. Everybody, take it easy.